The brightness of this day has given me the opportunity to bring you this video. Welcome back to my channel, Winging It with AC. My name is AC. So I have a rant, and this rant has been in my head for a while now. I ranted to my husband, I ranted to a friend of mine, actually 2 friends of mine, and I'm ranting to you guys now because I feel like I'm ranting now because yes, my husband brought it up, but not because I ranted, because somebody did something similar. Okay, now a few weeks ago, I have a friend who gave birth some months ago, and she would contact me from time to time asking me this question or that question, or like advice generally on breastfeeding and stuff like that. So for some weeks I didn't hear from her, and I would keep asking. Once in a while I'll be there and I'm like, hey, I should check on her, but then half the time I'm busy doing something, so then I would forget, and then by the time I remember, it's late or something. Like, that's what keeps happening. So finally some weeks went by again, and I was like, hey, I still haven't sent her a message, check on her, so let me send her a message, and let me do it now. So I sent her a message like, hey, how are you and your baby doing? And so right now I'm not going to say it verbatim, I'm just gonna like paraphrase basically what she said. And she was like, hey, Abi, you've abandoned us. You don't check on us. Something of the sort. And I was like, it's a two-way. That day I wasn't having it, so I was like, it's a two-way street. So when I check on you, you also check on me, and we move on with life. Then after I said that, then I asked again, how are you and your so after I said that, then I asked again, so how are you guys doing? She still did not answer. So I asked twice already. I still didn't get an answer as to how you and your child are doing. She came back again and she said, but our problems are bigger, or something of the sort. And I remember when I read it, I was like, so what you're trying to tell me is that me, as I'm sitting somewhere, I don't have problem, or your problems are marginally larger than whatever I am going through. And I had just been through a lot. Okay, so I was like, I just figured it, and I was like, let me just take my time and respond. So I said, So I responded, and I was like, the fact that I do not tell you what problems I have doesn't mean that I don't have problems and I don't have anything going on in my life that I'm struggling with. So your problem is not bigger than mine, or your problems are not bigger than mine. None is bigger than the other. And I think that's basically the sum of what I said. And then she was like, yes, ma'am. And I haven't heard from her again since, And I remember I ranted so hard to my husband and my friend. I was like, do you know what I have been through? Like, do you know what I have been through? Because I am always available, and I don't mind. I really don't mind people only getting in touch because they want to ask me something. I don't mind. And it always reminds me of when I had finished SSS, and every day I'll be telling my mom, I'm going to visit this person, I'm going to visit that person. Then one day she said, I won't go today, basically saying that you every day are going to visit somebody, nobody comes to visit you. And I was like, I really don't care, because I just like visiting people, so it doesn't bother me, So like, if you're getting in touch with me, just ask me something, like, I really don't mind. But then don't let, and the one thing that my husband was ranting about was the fact that, like, you get in touch with somebody, like, you're just checking on the person, and now that somebody would be like, Abi, you've dogged me, Abi, you don't mind me, Abi, you don't look for me. You are saying you don't look for me, why do you look for the person? It's different if maybe I'm always reaching out to you, or Charlie, or let me use Abna as an example. Abna, how are you? Or I'm always calling you, like, I'm just checking on you, and Abna never does the same. Like, Abna never reaches out to check on me. It's different. So that one, if one day she reaches out to me and I say that, Abby, you don't check on me, I feel like that one is more valid. But if you are seeing somewhere, you don't check on the person, and there's some of you don't check on each other, and one has started to just reach out and say, oh Charlie, I'm just checking on you, and you now go on a rant of, yeah, Abi, you don't look for me, Abi, you've abandoned me. Listen, that thing you leave it in SSS, JSS, university, those times where you didn't have problems. Right now, everybody's an adult. Well, I mean, depending on where you are, like, of course, if you're an adult, most of your friends are adults, and everybody has one struggle or the other. If it's not financial, then it's health. If it's not that, then it's job, something, and it's like. And then the other thing I wanted to rant about when, like, she said that, was the fact that, like, and some months ago I had met a friend, and I was like, hey, how are you doing? It's been a while. And he was like, oh, he's fine. He was like, as for you, dear, I know you are fine because I've been seeing your videos on YouTube. And I'm like, what on earth? I post twice a week on an average. And if all of them are vlogs, let's say each vlog is 15 minutes. So that's 30 minutes. So you see 30 minutes of my life in a week. And you decide that because you've seen those 30 minutes, AC is fine. Really? No, like, really? You think YouTubers, you don't have problems? And I remember when I said this thing to Nancy, my YouTuber friend and colleague, she was like, people have been making similar comments to her, and it's like, the fact that I am going through something doesn't mean that I'll wear it on my sleeve, or I'll wear it on my face, or I'll come and say it on the channel. And it doesn't mean that I will. Sometimes, yes, it may be something that maybe you wouldn't post for a while because something's eating you, like something, but then the average, if I say YouTube, I will still keep going because it's a job, and it's just like your regular 9-to-5 job. People come to work and they do their work and go home, but if they tell you some of the things that they are going through, you'll be like, and you look so normal when you come to work. You get it? So you still show up and do what you have to do to earn your bread, put bread on your table, but doesn't mean that, like, you go around wearing it on your sleeve. So listen, we are all busy in life, and when my friend did what she did, then it made me appreciate another friend more, because I remember sometimes I reached out, I was like, oh Charlie, how are you doing, how are the kids doing? And when we finished the conversation, she was like, oh Yesi, thank you so much, you're always thinking of us and checking on us. And I thought she was making a big deal out of it, but now I understand her, because everybody is busy. So for somebody to take the time to check on you, you best appreciate it and not make it seem like, oh, the fact that you didn't check on me, So anyway, I have finished my rants. So, like, the sum of this matter is, everybody's busy. People are chasing jobs, people are chasing marriage, people are chasing children, people are chasing health, people are chasing positions, people are chasing all manner of things, and it's taking up their time, it's just taking up their thought space. The fact that people post on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, doing things, doesn't necessarily mean that all is well in their life. So if somebody takes the time to check up on you, just say thank you. You respond and say, oh, we are fine, yada yada yada. You ask about the person, case die. Once in a while, you also check up on somebody and stuff like that. Sometimes what I do is that if somebody comes to mind and I'm busy, what I end up doing is I will just say a quick prayer, because sometimes God brings the most random people to mind, like sometimes they are just your friends, but sometimes like somebody you haven't heard from in a long time, but you just say a prayer for the person, because sometimes that is God bringing something up for you to just say a word of prayer for the person, because you don't know what's going on with the person. So be kind to people, appreciate people when they reach out to you, and yeah, he who has an ear, she who has an ear, let he or she hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. So thank you for listening to my rant, and I will see you in my next video.